What is your favorite holy crap this actually works trick? Tapping a stuck jar lid with the blunt side of a butter knife all around the edges loosens it enough to open most of the time. I had really bad vertigo when I rolled over for like a month out of nowhere. I'd roll over and it felt like I was still rolling for a good 20 seconds. I eventually looked up some YouTube video on it. I didn't expect much. But one video told me to lie on my back on the bed and lean my head off the bed as far as it could go back. Then hold for 10 seconds. Then move my head up to even level for 10 seconds and finally bring my head up so that my chin is pushed into my neck all while laying on my back still. And hold for 10. I felt really sick after for like 30 minutes, but after it was completely cured. If you have trouble passing gas, get down on all fours. Start with knees and hands. Then knees and elbows. I learned it from a dating survival handbook from the early 2000s and it saved me the first time I had White Castle on a business trip. Pro tip. Someone posted on a thread a long time ago that in some older cars, turning your keys in the lock on the door and holding it in the unlocked part for 3 seconds will unlock all the doors in the car. This trick works on my car, and since my key dongle doesn't work, it's changed my life. Contact solution works wonders on bloodstains. Kinda niche, but I work as a production tech. One of the companies I work with has a few hog lighting consoles. These consoles sometimes don't want to boot up, and when I found myself in that situation, my co-worker said, pick it up about 6-10 inches and just drop it. I looked at him like he was crazy because they're expensive. And he calmly says, just do it. So I did it. And a duck, wouldn't you know it, it worked. And continues to work with every hog I come across. Edit. Yes, I have heard of percussive maintenance. However, I never thought of using gravity to induce it. I love that it's so widely accepted. To all those saying you're going to try this with your grandmas, from what I've been told, that will kill. Please percussive maintain responsibly and don't kill you grandmas. Bless up and coop. Cursing loudly makes some automated answering machines immediately go to customer service. I personally recommend, but bitch also works as well. Laying on your left side can stop gastric reflux pain. The best way to get someone to elaborate without them feeling like you're questioning them or not believing them is just to repeat what they just said as a question. I'm going to the store. To the store? Yeah. I've gotta get some milk. Also a great way to make your roommates think you have a hearing problem. If you spill candle wax on a carpet, you can get it out by running an iron over it with a damp towel in between. I was so baffled I almost felt like spilling more wax. Edit. Low heat. Make sure the towel is damp enough. Keep the iron constantly moving. And most importantly, don't blame me if you light your carpet on fire. Please Google it first. Step 1 is actually use a butter knife to get the big clumps out. Was told to put my hand on the bottom of the steering when backing a trailer because then whichever direction you move your hand, that's the way the trailer goes instead of the opposite if your hand is on the top. Edit. Whoa. Thanks for the gold. Nuke a couple of potatoes and put them in your coat pockets. Aluminum foil cover optional. Voila. Hand warmers that stay warm for hours. Bonus. You can eat them later. Aluminum foil hat optional. Edit. No aluminum foil. It restricts airflow and fosters bacterial growth. Thanks at Helaholi and others. Edit. No aluminum. But thanks for the silver. Put the tin foil on after taking them out of the microwave. The Dawn dish soap plus vinegar cleaner really does work miracles. My shower has a tendency to get this grimy coating that doesn't scrub off easily. Using Dawn and vinegar it comes right off no problem. Edit. Ratio is 50/50. People have also suggested adding some water to make it spray easier, though I haven't tried that. Edit 2. I've only ever used Dawn, but several people have commented using other brands and finding success. Had a parasitic drain on a truck and the fuse and relay panel was way up under the dash. I figured whatever was causing the drain would probably make the fuse or relay hot, so I shot the temperature gun at them all. Sure enough, one was 15 hotter. Turns out the clutch for the AC compressor was stuck on the whole time. Edit. If you want to save some money on these types of problems, go to Harbor Freight Princess Auto and buy a $20 multimeter. Spend an hour on YouTube, learn how to use it. You would be surprised how simple a lot of these problems are to solve. A really obscure tip: if you lose the sensor bar for your Wii, light 2 candles and place them where the sensor bar would be. It's finicky, but it works well enough to at least choose a game. How was this figured out? I had really bad hiccups from drinking, so the bartender gave me limes with sugar and some sort of red liquid on them, and they instantly went away. Bitters. I do it with a lemon, though, not a lime sauce. Listening to a song while reading along to the lyrics after it's been in my head all day to get it out. I don't even know how many times this has saved my sanity. Semicolon. A few ends. Close bracket. Wow, this got more upvotes than I thought it would. Close bracket. The reading along is just a way to say concentrating on the lyrics tune, as that's what makes the trick work. Close bracket. If this doesn't work for an instrumental, I guess just imagine it's the background track for your life and roll with it. IDK. Close bracket. Sometimes you're just head in the air by life. Pressing your thumb to the roof of your mouth and pressing your other thumb in between your eyebrows when you have a headache. It works for some people. And pressing on your taint and temple at the same time takes a screenshot of your current view. Edit. Mayo, thanks for my first gold. I took a screenshot to remember this moment. Similar trick. If you pretend you're holding a salt shaker and shake it onto your tongue, you'll actually taste the salt. Do it for 10 seconds and you'll see. Read in a tween magazine, might have been American Girl or something similar. Years and years ago, a tip to help you fall asleep where you slowly tense all your muscles as much as you can. Then release the tension all at once. I was amazed at how much more relaxed I felt when I tried it. Years later I realized this was basically mimicking what happens when you orgasm, without the SX part. So, take that as you will. But hey, it works either way. Wearing thinner socks stopped me getting blisters in my new shoes that were a little big. Told my sister that my new shoes were giving me blisters, and she looked at my feet and very matter-of-factly said it's the socks. Too thick. Kinda like that scene in Road to El Dorado. Anyway, I was like, nah, that's just some old whiffy crap. Nope. It worked. Here's the real blister LPT. Wear 2 pair of socks. Put the first pair on inside out and the second pair over them normally. It takes the friction away from your foot and the sock and puts it between the socks. We used to do it at football camp to prevent blisters and works like a charm. Gently stuffing a chicken's head under its wing and moving it in a circle exactly 3 times makes the chicken fall asleep. When I was a kid, I would lay one of my chickens on its side while gently holding them in place and slowly drag my finger on the ground back and forth in front of their face. I would let them go and they would just lay there, not moving for a good minute. Then they would wake up and go back to their chicken business. 1 cup vinegar. 1 cup original Listerine. 1 cup warm water. Let your feet soak for around 30 minutes. Then remove dead skin. Bam. No more cracked feet. If your nose is stuffy and you can't get it clear, just do 10 push-ups and it will clear right up. You can blow your nose over and over, but for some reason this actually does a better job of clearing it up. I had no idea how it could work at first, so I was skeptical, but somehow it genuinely does work. Your nose plugs up as a bodily function. It's not the virus that does it. Which is why normally one is plugged and the other isn't. When you get your heart moving, your body needs more oxygen now. Which is more important for survival than the work on your sinuses. So it opens. This is also why in a minute you'll be plugged up again when your heart rate settles. Edit. Jesus Christ. Thanks for my first gold. Cleaning your headlights with cheap baking soda toothpaste. Hadn't cleaned mine in 10 years. Cleaned up sparkling like new with almost no effort. When I was a little kid, I was playing in my dad's office while he was in a meeting and was drawing dinosaurs on his dry erase board. Unfortunately, I was using permanent marker and I got so scared I would get in trouble. I cried. His secretary heard the commotion and was nice enough to show me that if you draw over the lines with a dry erase marker it'll all come off when you erase it. She was also nice enough to take me to the bakery across the street and get me a cookie. I was skeptical about getting garlic smell of my hands with stainless steel. But I tried it and it worked. Also, freeze onions for about 15 minutes before chopping them up. It helps reduce the onion fumes. Writing down goals does actually help me get them done more often. Edit. If you smoke too much weed or overdo it with edibles and are feeling too high, chew on a peppercorn and let it sit under your tongue for about a minute. You will feel fine in less than 5 minutes. If you are on edibles you may have to repeat this every 30 minutes to an hour until you have metabolized all the THC. You can also just smell some ground pepper. But it takes a bit longer and does not last as long. This works because a substance in black pepper called piperine blocks cannabis receptors. I had no idea. I'm throwing away the black pepper. If your car has a dent, pour boiling water on it, then use a toilet plunger to pop it back into place. Salt on anything sour makes it taste less sour and more sweet. Had an orange the other day that was really sour. Coworker told me to try adding a bit of salt to it as it would counter the sour and make it taste a little sweet. I believe I actually said out loud, holy crap. That actually worked. If you want to know if the egg is boiled, spin it on a table and stop it with your hand for just a short moment. Then let it go again immediately. If it stops, it's boiled. If it keeps rotating, it's raw. The liquid inside has momentum. Edit. Pouring hot water on the remaining wax on finished candles. The wax melts and floats to the top so you can just reach in and take it out and your candle jar is clean to be repurposed or recycled. Sounds simple, but as an avid candle burner it changed my life. Edit. My first 2 silvers. Done such a neat trick. Thanks strangers. Flipping over a rug. Upside down. Before vacuuming the back of it. Doing this knocks out the dirt that's deep in it that the vacuum could never get out. Crying because I'm sad actually helps things. Sometimes people just need to cry to calm down. Those garlic peeling tube things. Thought for sure they were a dumb gimmick, but I used one in a cooking class really, and hot damn did it work like magic. It's so easy, I'm actually able to get the same effect using a rubbery jar opener thing I already own. So I didn't even have to buy one of the official ones. I smash mine with the flat side of the knife. Not too hard. The peel comes right off and you're already halfway through mincing it. If you want NBA League Pass you can use a VPN so that it appears like you're in India and buy it for like $20. Turning electronics off and then on again magically fixes many problems. Ring toss at the fair. Don't just sling them. Or toss them towards the bottles in hopes that you'll snag one. Gently toss them flat up into the air above the bottles and try to get it to fall flat. Hopefully I'm describing this correctly. Because the first year I tried this at the fair I won an electric guitar and mini amp. The following year, I won a $300 bike. Haven't been to the fair since. But you can bet your ass I'll play it again the next chance I get. When your car overheats, turn up your heater to full blast while driving. Roll windows down if it's summertime so you don't bake. It helps to keep your engine cooler than it would otherwise be until you get to a safe spot to stop, or to a nearby repair shop. After I broke up with my ex, about 2 weeks afterwards, my radiator busted. And I didn't know who to call for help. I ate crow and called him BC. He knew a few things about cars. Yet at the same time was skeptical because he had a reason to give me horrible advice and screw me over. Lucky for me he was a good guy and his advice saved my car. Propping a cheek up a bit to fart silently. Pull your ass cheeks apart for maximum silence. Apple cider vinegar and warts. Just take a tip end and soak it in ACV. Then place it over the wart and put a band-aid on top. Continue process each night until it's gone. Had to deal with some earlier in life and no amount of freezing helped. They would die but they seem to always come back return. ACV worked flawlessly and they never returned. Creator in case of anxiety panic attack playlist. Your brain memorizes how we feel when associated with things. When you work out and have a clear head, listen to this playlist religiously. When you start to have an attack, play this music. Your brain will assume it's relax or workout time and calm down. In case your printer is broken, hit it and it will work again. If we can't find our cat anywhere in the house, all I have to do is open the door to the cupboard where his feed is stored, and he magically appears. It never fails, even if it's not his normal feeding time. Applying heat to mosquito bites. Instant relief after you take away the heat. Preferably almost unbearably hot. And apply for at least 30 seconds. Usually lasts a few hours. Had a sty. I didn't have insurance so I decided to put a boiling tea bag on the sty. It worked within an hour and I can still see. If you need to cut some PVC pipe and have no tools, you can cut a PVC pipe with just some string and some friction. Edit. My most upvoted comment, and it was a trick my mentor Arch Nemesis taught me. Damn you Ronnie. Whatever you do, do not try and cut PVC with a box cutter. It is super easy to cut yourself. My mom loves to collect containers to store random crap, and converted me to do also, and both of us were stumped on how to get rid of the adhesive left over from labels. I went online and found a post that said a mixture of olive oil and baking soda will take the glue right off. I kind of laughed at it thinking it was another joke post because how can baking soda and oil, two items we consume every day, be used to remove something like adhesives? Still, there was no real alternative since neither of us wanted to go buy Goo Gone because of the stench, so we tried it out. To our surprise, the mixture worked like a charm and all of the adhesive and sticker residue came right off after letting the mixture sit on the containers for a bit. Now we have drawers full of containers full of various spices and tools that once held other spices, snacks, and foods. Using a credit card to open a locked door. I had locked my girlfriend and I out of her apartment by pulling the locked door shut behind us and leaving without the key. When we returned and realized what we had done, I was able to slide the card in between the door and the door jamb and push back the bolt, opening the door. I scored major points with the MRS. But we were both alarmed with how easy it was. Needless to say, we used the deadbolt when leaving the apartment from then on. If a bathroom stall lock won't shut right, you can stuff toilet paper in the other end and it will stay closed. The other end? You mean my mouth? I stop using Facebook. Holding the car remote to your chin for better contact, locking, unlocking and alarm. I thought my friend wanted me to look like an idiot. But the trick actually works. When you open up to people, they will open up to you. If you are trying to get someone to tell you something, tell them a similar situation from your life and they will respect you for saying it. Use a dice to make decisions when there doesn't seem to be one right way in sight even after all the pros and cons. But since it's not a coin, you can expand on options with compromises. It's way less stressful. Also, if you are like no, not that the process forces you to reconcile what your preference really is. I also use tarot to figure out what my instincts are. In the scientific sense, it's just common symbols that you apply meaning to, but can be useful to draw out your buried thoughts, feelings with how you interpret the symbols. X% of Y is Y% of X. When I figured out that Control plus Shift plus T actually reopened my tab I just closed by accident. A good way to turn an hourly pay rate into an annual salary estimate is to double it and add 3 zeros. percussive maintenance. Knocking something with your fist a couple times. Or the classic 2-foot drop method are all tried and true. Diatomaceous Surf actually solved my 2-year bedbug problem and it cost $8. My GF has trouble making decisions on small things like the classic where to eat tonight. One time I figured out that since she can't decide among the available options, it must mean that all those options make no difference to her. Therefore can just pick the one I want. Or even at random. Right? It worked. She loved it. I loved it. Everyone's happy. Whenever I don't know where to go for dinner, guess where I'm taking you for dinner? So. Meditation. It takes a little time and practice. But oh my goodness, is it worth it? Read about it and do it. And don't ever stop. Don't think you don't have time. You can meditate and be mindful every single second of the day if you want to. The realization that none of this world really matters. Everything is beautiful. There is no right or wrong. Assuming you don't hurt another being is just simply amazing. If you want to be at peace with any situation, start meditating and stop reacting to those thoughts in your head. Feeling nauseated? Smile really big. It suppresses the gag reflex. I swear my dog does this when she's about to puke. Sharpening scissors by cutting aluminium foil with them or sharpening knives with the ledge on the underside of a plate. Just reading this makes my insides hurt. Yelling at your vacuum cleaner to get your dogs to stop barking at it. I read about this on Reddit and assumed it was a joke. But it actually works. Give it an extra shake before putting it back in to keep your underpants nice and dry. Nah bro. Prostate milking. Press right where taint meets balls. Guaranteed no more dripping. Straight from a urologist. I get horribly morning sick during the first half of pregnancy. One of the biggest struggles is staying hydrated. I try to eat or drink anything and it just comes right back up. Hence the dehydration. However, this is my 3rd time through. And I just figured out that if I wake up in the middle of the night that my nausea is greatly reduced and I can drink water. It might not sound like much, but if you've been dehydrated before then you know how wonderful it is to drink something. I basically can't drink anything all day long, but I've trained myself to wake up and take a gulp of water every time I toss or turn throughout the night. It has been such a game changer, and while I'm still sick, I am not dehydrated. If you make fists with your toes, the jet lag feels a lot better after your trip. Not much of a trick per se. When booking airplane seats, if there's 2 of you, book a window seat and an aisle seat. No one will book the middle seat and you get the row to yourselves. Not 100% effective. If it's a busy time, the flight may be full and there are always people flying on standby, family members of flight crew. If you are getting bullied online, turning off the device works 100% of the time. Ordering drugs on the internet. Go on. It's because it's not boogers that makes your nose stuffy. It's the vessels and stuff inside that are swollen and irritated. By doing exercise you reroute the blood to the muscles you're using instead of the nostrils. I think you meant to reply to the push-up comment. If you close your eyes and look as far up as you possibly can, your brain generates more alpha waves, part of sleep. This trick can help you induce sleep. Combine with meditation. Touch the metal part of the key fob to your chin to extend its range in a large parking lot. If you ever have the hiccups, put a butter knife in a full glass of water, handle facing up so you don't hurt yourself, and then chug the whole thing with the knife on the side of your cheek. It's an old polished trick, but I swear it always works if you believe in it. So it works on faith. My trick was always to hold my breath. It works every time. My theory as to why it doesn't work for everyone is that they don't do it right. You have to force the air down into your belly, not out into your chest. It feels like you're straightening out a knot in your diaphragm. Small human contact with people we pass by in life keeps me centered and stops the shyness of meeting new people. Making eye contact, smiling and saying nice or funny things to strangers Occasionally someone blanks you. But the vast majority of times it starts a little convo, a little bit of human contact. You never know, perhaps you are the first person that day who has acknowledged their existence. Simple examples, saying good morning to the people at the bus stop. I said choices. To someone standing looking at a display in the supermarket a short while ago. They laughed and I laughed little too. Small human contact. I started saying howdy to people to be funny, but then it became my normal greeting, so I can't speak to people anymore.